The gate was 1.125 million. The attendance was 12,066. The fight of the night is Yair and Jeremy. The performance of the night went to Rosa and Reyes. They all won $50,000.
Dana, have to ask you about this Greg Hardy situation. I mean, we're just kind of finding out about it, just moments before he walked in. Can you just tell us from your perspective how the thing unfolded and what your thoughts are on it? Just a bizarre situation.
Yeah, it was crazy. So everybody started screaming at me, he used an inhaler, he used an inhaler. I'm like, couldn't even grasp what do you mean he used an inhaler? So when the fight was over, I went over to Dean Thomas and said, the fuck are you doing? How are you using an inhaler? And he said, the commissioner said we could. What commissioner? When? How? So then, my team started to jump into it and try to figure out what happened, what was going on.
Have you seen the clip in between? Like, he literally did ask the inspector, can I use it? And what's your take on that? Do you feel like he was justified? I think if you watch it, you can understand how it happened. But, he asked the guy, and the guy says, is it medically approved? He says, it's USADA approved. Because he put it down on his sheet that he was using an inhaler, and they knew he used an inhaler, and, it's crazy. I think he was concerned that you would be upset with him. I mean, are you upset?
I don't even know what to say. First of all, Dean Thomas. I mean, come on, Dean. You've been in this game forever. You know what I mean? His corner. They got to know you can't use an inhaler in the corner. They should know that. Shouldn't even be a question.
Yeah.
You can drink water. It's pretty simple. And Gatorade in some states, I don't know. So.
Odd situation. Different story in the main event. Great finish, great night for Dominic Reyes. Give us your thoughts on his performance and kind of where he stands in the division right now.
Yeah, big win for him tonight, and we'll see what's next. If I had to, criticize tonight's card, which I think was awesome. Card was incredible. I just kicking myself in the ass. I wish we had put Stevens versus Yair as the main event, and who didn't want to see 2 more rounds of that? So and the other one is a co-main event, but it's never perfect, man. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, Dom afterwards, he challenged John Jones, and it seems like, if he's not there, maybe it's Corey Anderson, Johnny Walker. Do you feel like Dom's ready for John Jones, or do we need to see what happens at MSG before we make a decision?
Yeah, he looked good tonight. He's one of the top 5 guys in the world, and we'll see.
Last thing for me, Macey Barber has been on a fast track for a while, but I think it was kind of a breakout performance tonight. She's got that goal of being the youngest champion. She's got 2 years to do it. Where do you think she stands right now? And is she on a timetable that she could accomplish that? She's a gangster, this girl. So I love everything about this girl. You see the crazy texts she sends me like all the time, including tonight. As soon as the fight was over, she started texting me, and she wants to fight everybody, and she wants to do this. And I told you I was going to do this. I love her attitude. I love how bad she wants to be a world champion. I love how she finishes fights. She fought a very tough girl tonight, and she stopped her. She looked incredible. She's fun, and it's going to be fun for us, all of us, and the fans to watch her grow over the next couple of years.
Dana in the front. On the flip side, Chris Weidman, he's now lost 5 out of the 6. Do you think it's time for him to retire? If not, do you think it's time for him to maybe face an unranked opponent?
What he said tonight didn't sound to me like he's considering retirement. So it's a conversation that he and I definitely need to have. And, this was his move up to light heavyweight, which obviously didn't go well for him. So maybe he goes back down to middleweight, or he, thinks about maybe retiring.
Change the subject. Whaley was in the building. We asked her, what's next? She's talking about Shevchenko, Joanna's option. They're talking about Rose.
Yeah.
What's next?
Love her too. I mean, she's such a little badass, and will fight anybody, wants to fight everybody, and it's between Rose and Joanna. I mean, I know that recently she just said, Joanna had said something about her not defending her belt, and she said, I think Joanna is a bully, and I don't like bullies, and I'd like to fight Joanna. And Rose, I know Rose wants to fight too. I just saw on Instagram that Rose was training, so we'll get back into the office and figure out what's next for her.
Also this week, Colby Covington made some headlines. He said when he beats Kamaru Usman, he says no way he's letting you wrap the belt around him. If you do, he's going to smack you in the head with it. What's your comments on that?
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. He's a big mouth fucking idiot.
Dana, as a Boston guy, do you have any thoughts about Joe Lauzon and his future?
Me and Joe Lauzon had a deal that he would retire after this fight, win, lose, or draw, and he didn't do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You're going to force him to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Manny Bermuda.
What better way to go out than tonight?
Yeah. This is one. Yeah.
And he beat a real guy tonight. He beat a real tough guy. That I bet a lot of people didn't think he was going to beat, and he made it look easy. And this is one of those things when you're talking to a guy who loves to fight like Joe Lauzon loves to fight, and the Chuck Liddells and many, many more, in the past that I've dealt with. It's so hard to walk away. Well, I looked great tonight, and then if they lose, well, I can't go out like this. Getting beat in my hometown in front of all my, it's just,
Another local guy, Manny Bermudez, when you lose twice and you missed weight on both occasions, does that compound the losses, in your opinion, as far as his future?
Say that again?
For Manny Bermudez to lose twice but have missed weight on both occasions as well, does that make it worse than if...
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Thank you.
Dana, right here. We asked the fighters a lot, especially the Boston guys, what it meant for them to fight at the Garden. What is it like being the president of the UFC and coming back to the Garden for these events?
It's the commission kept coming up to me tonight and saying, thanks, this is such a great event and all this stuff. When can you come back again? I'll come back here every weekend. I mean, I love this place. I love the people. I love this town. We have 44 fights a year. And, we're going to go to Paris, France next year and put on an event. We're going to go, we're going into all these other countries and doing all these things. We can only get here so many times, in like a 5-year, span. But, I love this place. I love everything about this city. And we can't come here enough as far as I'm concerned.
Also, with the sport, there seems to be like a lot of negativity going around, but when you have a guy like Charles Rosa, who's been out for 30 months, to come back and have a performance like he had, submitting, a submission specialist, and Manny Bermudez, he came out here and said he's the baddest MFer in Boston. He's on a title hunt right now. What did you make of not only his comeback, proving the doctors wrong, but having the performance like he had tonight?
Yeah, listen, tonight was a really good night for Boston guys, Sometimes we'll go into a home, to whether it's in Brazil or wherever it might be, and the people from that country have a rough night, or that city have a rough night. It was all good for Boston tonight, man. It was a really good showing here tonight.
And then lastly for me, we had a lot of Contender Series guys making their debuts in the card. Brendan Allen had a great win. Sean Woodson beat a really gritty, tough Kyle Bosniak tonight. What did you think of the Contender Series guys tonight?
Yeah, that fight was awesome. Yeah, they look good. They look good. I agree with everything you just said, and yeah, I like it. I like seeing those guys do well, and they were in great fights too.
Hey, Dana, congratulations on the card tonight. One quick question. We had Calvin Kattar in the audience tonight, and obviously losing him on the card gave, Stevens the opportunity to co-main event. What do you think about Calvin's entry into the UFC so far, and what do you think his future is, or his ceiling is?
I love the kid. He's tough as nails, looks better every time he comes out, and I love this too. If you look at it, his situation, tonight was his night. He's in Boston, in his hometown, gets to fight somebody like Zabit, and the fight falls out. Now he's got to leave Boston and go to Russia and fight in his home turf, and doesn't even flinch. Does it, ready to go, ready to roll. So I got a lot of respect for him, and the Zabit fight is obviously really, really big for him. It's a big fight for his career and in that division. I hope I answered your question. I don't know if I did, but anybody else?
Dana, first, what do you feel to finally have this great fight between Jair and Jeremy? And what were your thoughts when you saw what happened with the crowd in Mexico City?
Ask me that question again.
How do you think about how you feel about finally having this fight between Jair and Jeremy? And what were your thoughts when you saw what happened with the crowd in Mexico City?
Yeah, I was excited for this fight. I was excited for this fight the first time and excited for this fight this time. Lorenzo Fertitta and I went to a fight in Tijuana, Mexico, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. I don't even know. Maybe longer than that. I don't remember what it was, but it was in a bull ring. It was like an HBO fight. And it was between a Mexican and an American. And the Mexican fighter won the fight. And everybody started throwing their beer. I got soaked. Lorenzo was soaked. Everybody that was sitting down there, beers are flying into the ring, and their guy won. So I think it's a cultural thing. I think they like to throw beer around over there because I've had a couple of experiences with it. Nobody got hurt, and I don't know. These things happen.
People is thinking that the UFC might not want to come back anytime soon to UFC because of what happened.
No, I don't think that's going to shake our fans at all. I think that nobody got hurt. It wasn't that big of a deal, and so these things happen sometimes.
The plan is still to break ground on the PI.
Oh hell yeah! No, we have the space, and we're moving forward. We're going to open that PI up, and as soon as that's done, I'm going to start looking for a place in Puerto Rico.
So just to clarify what happened with Hardy and the inhaler, last question on this, hopefully. You would say it's probably a confusion between his camp, what was allowed outside of a competition with the inhaler being ticked off on his form and being okayed, and them thinking, okay, I can do that in between rounds?
I have no clue what anybody who was involved in that situation was thinking, but it's, Let me start here with, and I don't want to sound like I'm being negative on the commission, but these guys don't have a lot of big fight experience when we come into places that, aren't Vegas. You see it with different referees and judging and things like that. They don't have a lot of big fight experience. And I don't know what anybody was thinking. From Dean Thomas, the rest of the cornermen, Greg Hardy, the commissioner that was in the octagon with him, you can drink water. It's pretty simple. So I don't know. For me to speak on what anybody was thinking, we have it on video. We have it all on video and audio, the whole conversation. And it goes.
You can't have sugary drinks, for example.
What's that?
You can't even have sugary drinks. As
Yeah.
you said.
You can drink water.
Dana, I'm curious about Macey. Do you see any similarities? I know it's tough to always compare, but she looked great tonight. A young Ronda Rousey in her prime. Do you see any similarities there? Again, she looked fantastic tonight.
Yeah, she looked good. I mean, I don't know if I'd call her Ronda Rousey, but, if you look at a young Ronda Rousey, she was armbarring everybody. This girl put on a striking clinic tonight. I think Macey is Macey. She's somebody completely different, but I love her intensity. I love her attitude. I love that she wants to be a world champion before anybody else ever was. It's fun. She's fun to watch. She's fun to listen to. I posted an interview with her today, and if you sit and listen to the whole interview, she speaks really well. She's very smart, and I can't say enough good things about her. She's fun.
And I think you touched on this briefly. For the next for Dominic, is it likely Dominic John? Do you think is the next?
I have no idea.
Too far in advance?
I haven't even thought about it. It was mentioned in here tonight, but I haven't thought about it. We'll see when we get back to the office and start making fights again.
Speaking of another possible title challenger, there isn't anybody really jumping out as the next one to challenge the winner of Max Holloway versus Alex Volkanovski. Do you think Yair did enough tonight to earn a title shot? And if not, will it be the winner of Zabit and Calvin Kattar?
Say that again.
All right, I'll close it down.
So you guys all
Yair-
know that I don't match make the night of the fight, but everybody wants to ask me questions about what's next. Go ahead.
Did Yair do enough to earn a title shot after tonight?
Did Yair? No. I don't know. I can't even think about that. I have to think about. If you ever seen the war room at the UFC, everything's written on the wall. We go through. There's a lot of things that go into picking who's next, timing and tons of different stuff. So I don't know. We'll see.
Speaking about what's next, Dana, the BMF belt, has that been created and will that be defended after this fight?
It's being built right now. I'll actually have it the Thursday before the fight. I'll physically have it in my hands. And no, that's right here, right now. No, I don't think that belt would be defended.
A one-off.
It's a one-time. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. He said it. I was in a meeting one day with the guys, and I said, "Call me crazy, but what do you think about this?" They loved it, so we did it.
It fits for that fight.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you.
Hey, Dana. Two questions from me. Obviously, Yair Rodriguez, popular Mexican fighter. Another popular Mexican fighter in UFC history was Cain Velasquez, and recently, obviously, jumped to the WWE. He had a lot to say about you, and he praised you about the conversation that you guys had on the phone when he called you, said he was going to go over. What was that conversation like from your end, and what are your overall thoughts about him joining WWE?
Cain?
Yeah, Cain.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. You know, Cain's had some rough injuries. You know that happened. The guy's been a professional athlete for a long time, collegiate athlete. You know, he's a super nice guy, and when it looks like it's the end of your career and you're looking at what to do next, it's always hard for these guys to figure out what's next. Where do I fit? What do I do? But when it rolls into some, you know, I was always like, how's Cain going to wrestle? He's having problems with his body in MMA. And then I saw him doing the Luber Libe, whatever they call it, wrestling with the mask on. And I was like, God damn, he's pretty good. That's cool. And then when I got the call, I got a call from WWE looking for, I knew what they were thinking, and I was totally cool with it from the minute they called me and didn't even ask me. They just were looking for Cain. I figured that's what they were going to do because it completely makes sense. And I'm happy for him. I'm happy for his family, and I hope he does well like Ronda did and makes a lot of money, and, you know, and I hope the fans over there love him.
In a non-inhaler related Greg Hardy question, what were your thoughts on the performance? You know, he came out here and he said that he felt like he showed a lot of new facets of his game. He went the distance. Obviously, the fans, when they don't see finishes, sometimes they boo. Where did you fall on that spectrum of the fight itself?
Well, I think it's one of the things in this fight, too. If you look at physiques, Sassoli versus Greg Hardy, I think that fans look at the fight and say, oh, they're just giving this guy a layup, or Sassoli is not that guy. The matchmakers believed that Sassoli would clip Hardy in this fight and hurt him, and thought that this was a really big test for him. And, you know, this inhaler thing is crazy. He didn't need the inhaler. He was easily winning the fight. He didn't even look like he was winded sitting on the, you know, and it's just so crazy. But, you know, if you're somebody who knows how good Sassoli is and what he brings to the table, this was a big test for Hardy tonight. And he passed it until the third round in the corner. So we'll see what's next for him, and you know, take him up another step. Is that it? Yeah? Thanks, guys. Have a good night.